Ooh. It's Devin Reacts and Vlogs here. And, oh, golly. What a time it has been since I've been off of the YT. Guys, I have, you know, there's been some times where not everything goes to plan and not everything goes right. Okay? I'm going to give you guys a life lesson. For any of you guys there that, has a little, phase where they want silence and peace and some time to they self in life. Well, that was me. Do they do wonders? Merry Christmas. Oh man. All right. We gonna get started with this video. Most ridiculous deaths in history.
In a world of constant scientific revolution and innovation, it's required that any new theories be put to the test with reliable and repeatable proofs.
Okay.
About as useful as a flat earther. But sometimes that proof puts people in harm's way.
Okay.
Take, for instance, one Jesse William Lazier. This handsome block of cheddar was an American physician in the late 1800s, though he did live to see the new century, just not for very long. But we'll get to that in a bit. Growing from a well-to-do boy into a well-to-do man, Lazier had a passion for helping the ill and minimizing all of the icky sickies that had plagued humanity throughout history. So he took that passion and put it to good use, receiving his doctorate in medicine from Columbia University in 1892, upgrading him.
That's a long ass time.
Graduate to practicing physician in 1895, Lazier focused his studies on two major diseases:
1892
and the deadly yellow fever, both of which were stirring up all kinds of problems in the late 1800s. The worst of which being that people were dying. But
do y'all ever wonder how medication was used in the 1890s? Let me know.
Exactly how these diseases were being spread so easily, particularly in the southern United States and in the Caribbean, remained a mystery. For a few more years, at least.
Damn.
Not exactly true. You see, about 14 years earlier, Cuban public health professional disease researcher guy Carlos Finlay came up with a theory. He proposed that some diseases, particularly yellow fever, could be transmitted through the bite of a single infected mosquito. It's a rather simple theory. An itty-bitty mosquito bites an infected monkey, acquires the yellow fever, flies away, finds a healthy human, gives the suck, and leaves behind yellow fever, and the cycle continues. Now, if you've ever...
So you telling me mosquitoes used to give the yellow fever? Okay. All right.
Spent more than 2 seconds
in the
South. You know just
like
how
what?
bad them little shits can get. So if there's a few infected people and a lot of mosquitoes, things are going to spread faster than a bad joke at a dad convention. Oh, come on. I'm hungry. Ooh, he said it. Finlay laid out his research and presented his nido-mosquito theory to the scientific community, opting for control over the mosquito population to minimize the spread. And they all laughed at him. All them stupid science bitches ridiculed and mocked Finlay, brushing it off as complete nonsense. But now we fast forward more than a decade, and a very confident Lazier was willing to put that theory to the test. On himself. Right here's an infected skater, and here's an uninfected me. So, if it bites me and I get infected, well, there you go. And so, in September of 1900, Lazier was deliberately bitten by an infected mosquito.
This nigga dumb.
Yellow fever and died several days later. But his sacrifice would not
be what?
Confirmed Finlay's theory, subsequently revolutionizing the control of yellow fever, including controlling the mosquito population.
Remember that trip?
Someone like
9,000 photos and only a
someone like
the group chat.
Someone light someone on fire,
the age
bro.
Of exploration,
well, speaking of fire,
exploring from many a capable sea captain. But amongst the Columbuses and Marco Polos of history, some have fallen through the cracks. Their deeds and accomplishments forgotten to time, or just not important enough for people to care. Johnny Kendrick was one such captain. Ever since growing up aboard Papa Kendrick's whaling vessel in his teenage years, John had a love of the sea, which explains the vast success he found in his later years. This guy was more American than he strapped apple pie asking for a tip. A member of the...
That's a real knee slapper right there.
the American Sons of Liberty, Kendrick personally took part in the famous Boston Tea Party, hucking countless
A Boston Tea Party? They had tea parties on boats? Wait, that sounded stupid. Wait. That sounded stupid. There. I remember. Hey! I'll fuck with my history. All right, let me know if I'm wrong. So during the Cold War, right? These men, after, or actually, no, during the war. All right, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. There was a whole group of guys, you feel me? They went inside a little boat, I think, or a little igloo. Was it an igloo? No, it was not an igloo. A little bit of a little something, little crib. And they all had a little tea party to celebrate during the war because they exploded. They exploded. Where's my history at? Was it China? No, it couldn't be. It was war and they exploded something. It was during them days. Okay, sorry. I'm call me hashtag dumb nigga free. Okay, like.
Into the harbor. He also commanded a privateer.
Golly, man.
Revolution,
my brain ain't working right, okay? But I know what I'm talking about. I just do not know the country they bombed. But I know it was during the Cold War.
Took to the seas once more.
Like,
this time on a more exploratory
Cold War right after the World
War
II,
Captain fellow Robert Gray, whom you've probably never heard of. The two bros made history.
I've heard of them.
Leading the first U.S. expedition to the Pacific Northwest, where they established a strong fur trade route. This was mainly trading goods like mirrors and knives to purchase sea otter pellets from local natives. Hey,
bro, all these deaths is from the 1800s. So, like, is there something like current happening?
Kendrick also made himself at home in Hawaii in the late 1700s. There, he built up a pretty lucrative sandalwood trade hub, harvesting the wood in Hawaii and shipping it off to China, who treasured the luscious lumber for its durability, medicinal and therapeutic properties, and of course, its smell. Oh, that's good wood. So Kendrick spent many a
what the fuck?
years jamming as much of his wood as he could into China's supple trading ports, skipping back and forth.
How much can the woodchuck chuck wood? Is that the joke? I'm sorry.
Mainland China,
how much could a woodchuck?
But Hawaii, historically speaking,
chuck wood. I don't even know.
Different islands. Each chief, understandably enough, wanted to expand their respective.
What type of Jamaican shit am I looking at right now?
Territories and influence. Well, when returning to the islands in 1794, Kendrick found Hawaii
1794? I thought we were in 18
to be in complete turmoil, with two chiefs duking it out to
like damn, bro.
Charge. One of the tribes was being supplied.
Oh my God, they them tribe people. They the ones that be
get some land for the
Haas. They be the ones that be
and put to the test, Kendrick did his best to smack
pickaxing niggas in the
So in
forest.
December of 1794, a battle commenced with Captain Brown supporting the chief of Oahu, and Kendrick.
Oh, that booty naked! Oh my God! Look at this guy right here. Oh my God! Straight butt cheeks, cuz! What are we on?
Supporting the chief of Kauai. How cute. The tropical tussle.
How cute.
Kendrick's side being victorious, inspiring him to celebrate the only way a true American knows how. By firing off loud guns. As planned, Kendrick's ship had ignited a volley of cannon fire. Although his side had lost, Captain Brown, determined to uphold proper British etiquette, agreed to discharge a volley of his own cannons in Kendrick's honor. Oh, this turtle soup is to die for.
You know that food was nasty back then. Don't lie. You know that food was fucking disgusting.
In a complete honest mistake, Captain Brown forgot to unload shot from one of his cannons before firing it off. Some historical accounts
that food was fucking
great
disgusting.
Shot tore through Kendrick's cabin,
most definitely,
and quickly killing the competent captain as he crunched on a collation of consumables.
Was it what the bombs look like?
The worst.
Like why every time we go by a store? Jack Daniel. Hey, that's the people that make that alcohol. I know Jack Daniel. It's that whiskey.
It's Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey Company. You know, that succulent spirit that did, will, or is getting you through those tough college days or life in general.
Yes, it does. That college life.
Well, little Jackie Boy was born in Tennessee in the mid-1800s as the youngest of 10, mainly because his birth was the one that sent his beloved mother.
That 1855. No, that 1894.
Now, unfortunately, not much
Right?
is known about Jack's early life because them town records don't went caught fire. Most of the insight that we do have into Jack's life actually comes from the Jack Daniels Company historian.
That good old Jackie D.
Tiny Jack, the youthful entrepreneur that he was, yearned for work at the ripe old age of 8. The man to answer Jack's call,
He made it whiskey at 8 years old. Oh, ain't you darn tootin' me? Golly.
call, a preacher, a
You must be darn tootin' me right
Of
now.
course, it would be here that Jack would find his calling.
Ain't that his daddy?
Jack caught Dan's eyes, and he
snap.
saw real potential in the little tyke. This boy's gonna make a fine whiskey one day, I tell you what. And so,
Indeed he did. Indeed he did.
company
Indeed he
history,
did.
8-year-old Jack began learning the art and science of distillation from one Nathan Green, a master distiller and slave under Dan Call. Fast forward several years, and Dan hit a crossroad. Given an ultimatum by his wife, Dan had to choose between his relationship with his tasty spirits or the Holy Spirit. The Reverend chose his Lord and Savior, saving his soul and his liver in the process. In that choice, Dan had sold his prized distillery to none other than his favorite pupil, Jack Daniel, whose first act as new owner was to hire on his friend and mentor Nathan Green as the company's master distiller. He also employed Nathan's 2 adult sons and later down the
Now, Sonny, back then, there weren't really many black people down there in the South. So what they did is that, no, this is a rare sighting though. Black boy with a whole bunch of black skeleton dudes, whole bunch of billies.
line, his
Woo!
grandparents. Now the Jack Daniels
Oh, snap.
emphasizes that
Lance,
Jack never owned
you
slaves.
must be darn tootin' me.
Disagree? Don't look at me.
You must be
Just a guy
darn
on the
tootin'.
internet. A man of all business and no pleasure, Jack never married nor had any children of his own. He did, however, take his nephews
He never got married?
under his wing to learn the business, eventually handing the distillery down to them in 1907 once his health bar had reached a solid yellow. But it would be
It's that whiskey.
1911 before Jack would kick the bucket, or in this case, something much heavier. According to legend, Jack Daniel, now in his 60s or so, had forgotten the combination to a personal safe housing a bunch of valuables like safes are typically designed to do. In his frustration, Jack tried to solve the problem in true US Southerner fashion by putting a boot up its ass. But since a safe has buns of literal steel, Jack instead broke his toe, causing a severe blood infection. Jack Daniel reportedly died of blood poisoning on October 9th, 1911. But is this
Boy, there ain't no goddamn way he died off of giving the old boot to the tooth. Ain't no way. Man, that shit crazy. Man, yo, doctors were terrible. Who got hired back then? That shit is not cool. Why are we hiring? Man, if you kicked a safe and your foot got broke, they would have fixed that in about 2 seconds. How the fuck do you get blood poisoning while giving the boot to the tooth on the safe? It's supposed to be safe. And you was doing some unsafe thing. There ain't no way. There ain't no I'm as surprised as you is.
true? I don't know.
Literally, man.
Here's a rather recent one for you. Back in 1993, when the world was witnessing the birth of the internet, Czechoslovakia was checking out and President Clinton was gearing up to suck or be sucked at his job.
President Clinton.
Gary Hoy was about to meet his untimely death. An extremely successful business partner and corporate and securities law specialist for the Holden Day Wilson law firm in Toronto, Canada, Gary was living it up. But he would quickly learn that it's a long fall from the top. Gary had a reputation as a very personable guy.
That boy looked like Bruce Lee, cuz that boy got rebooted.
Always loving to talk to people, share wisdom, and a few jokes here and there. But on July 9th, 1993, one of Gary's jokes would fall flat. While attending a reception in the office on a Friday, Gary decided to give a tour of the office to a group of accounting and law students, which of course was a typical routine for Gary's charismatic character. But what happens next would be cemented in the minds of everyone around him. While on the tour of the 24th floor office, Gary decided to whip out his signature move. Boasting about the structural integrity of Canadian architecture and the seemingly unbreakable glass office windows, Gary charged full speed towards one of said windows, a party trick he apparently had performed successfully many times in the past. Typical Gary.
And your dumbass fell off a 50-foot muff building. Are we dead ass?
This time, he was also successful. Gary bounced right off of the glass without a hitch, to the applause and laughter of the students. Y'all wanna see me do it again? Yeah! No, not really. Gary was about to push his luck, and a little too hard on the window. Gary charged once more, hitting the glass at a sprint. Now, to his credit, the glass didn't break, but the entire window frame dislodged from its setting, causing Gary to plunge the full 24 stories to his death. The students and various colleagues stood
Look at you. Dead as shit.
paralyzed,
See this?
horror-struck after witnessing Gary's fall. Not to mention the witnesses on the ground where Hoy's body had landed. Following the incident, many of the firm's lawyers received professional counseling, but some chose to part ways with the company, eventually leading to its full closure in 1996. Talk about having a falling out.
Playing on iPhone? Now you can play Unlocked on PC with Google Play Games.
So, mind you, if you did it the first time and everyone saw it the first time, and you hurt yourself, right? Don't you think to yourself, I'm not going to do this again. But you decide to do it again? And now look at you, 6 feet deep. Like what? Yo, your ass should have still could. Your ass should have been living now. If you do no dumb shit like that, man, what's up with y'all, man? What's up with 1993? What's up with that? What was the internet back then? What was so cool? It was accounting. What was accounting to that, bro? Like, what was that? Never mind.
Each of us wants to accomplish our own big motivational concrete goals before crossing the eternal finish line. A loving family, traveling the world, subscribing to this channel, which you can do right now. But as the Rolling Stones once said,
y'all could also do that right now. To me. Or him, I guess. I mean,
you can't always
whatever
get what
y'all
you
want.
But if you try sometimes, I forget the rest. Anyway, this is Frank Hayes, and he has his own goal, to win a race. A horse race. Problem is, though, he
horse
is no
racing.
Professional jockey.
Good old horse racing!
Irish fella born in Ireland in 1901. Frank
Ireland?
was a stable
I
boy
wonder.
and eventually an apprentice horse trainer
Is
under
this
James Fraley.
is this RuneScape? Holy shit.
A wealthy gent who owned and bred
The
professional
background.
racing horses.
Am I tripping? I might be
Paying
tripping.
Close attention to Frank's rather small stature, Frayling gave Frank an opportunity
What?
to
He
race
was small?
as a jockey. And he lost. But apparently not too bad, because he was given a second chance in 1923. One small snag in this plan, however, was that Frank was a tad too heavy. Jockeys were required to weigh less than 130
I heard about this story.
for racing. Ideally, the
I heard it,
sleeker
or
jockey
am I
is
thinking
the
of the
less
right
a
thing?
burden he is for the horse.
Bro didn't eat nothing. I think all he drunk was water, and then
Allowing for
I think
higher
bro
potential
passed
speed.
out
Less mass, go fast.
mid-race, but he
So
still
Frank was
won.
given a doozy of a task. Lose 12 pounds in a few days. And that's a big ask.
Yeah,
for someone
yeah,
already in a
bro.
healthy weight range, but
I know this
Frank was
story.
strapped
Oh
in the
my
saddle
god.
once more.
I know my history.
Through what I can only imagine were extremely unhealthy choices, the frail Frank ended up making the cut and was given the thumbs up to participate
Bro
in the
cut
race.
hard.
Though he was nowhere near expected to win, with him and his
He-
horse only
he
given
ran-
20-1 odds. On June 4th, 1923, Frank mounted his horse named Sweet Kiss and prepared.
Yeah, bro literally passed. Bro died mid-race and still won. That's what you call a real winner right there. He went out a winner.
Prepared to travel around the track.
Going to hell.
The racers were off, and Sweet Kiss quickly trailed behind the group. However, in the final stretch, Sweet Kiss apparently kicked in maximum overdrive and managed to close the gap, with Frank appearing locked in, closely hugging the horse's neck.
Bro
In
went
an
out a
extreme
winner.
Upset, Sweet Kiss actually won the race by a pretty respectable lead. But after dropping from a gallop to a canter to a walk, Frank was still closely gripping the steed. Frank Hayes was dead. During the
I'm doing a video right now. Yes. I'm going to do that.
Because I run a versatile.
Okay. Okay.
race, Frank's heart gave out, presumably from the extreme and unhealthily fast weight drop sustained to get into the race in the first place. So yeah, Sweet Kiss carried a corpse across the finish line. Frank Hayes photo finished into the great beyond at the age of 22. Or 35, depending on whatever source you read. I know that's a big discrepancy, but
yeah, bro.
Welcome to history. Unfortunately, Sweet Kiss, now superstitiously dubbed Sweet Kiss of Death, never ran another race as jockey
Pretty much
refused to mount the mare, fearing a similar fate. So of course, it was the end of her show, and she got her final curtain call. Speaking of which, that's the end of this video. Want me to eventually make a part 3? Let me know with a comment. And be sure to check out part 1 if you haven't.
So she died.
I've got it right here for you.
Why'd they kill her
See you
like
over
that? Yeah, that's crazy. That is some most ridiculous deaths, though. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Well, without further ado, that'll be the end of this wild video. And make sure you give my guy Scooby-Doo some love, because he will be in the remaining videos of this month. Let's get into the Christmas spirit. Say what's up to Scooby-Doo. He's a little shy. But anyway, you guys like and subscribe, and comment down below what other videos y'all want. And question of the day is, are you guys on the naughty list or are you guys on the nice list?